I want to talk to Robert about the North Carolina Sheriff's Association. They rolled out their criminal justice reform recommendations this week.
And they did. And I think that one of the things that you see, Mark, is that they've got some reforms that a lot of people were happy about, and they've got some reforms that people are still going to need to work with. One of the reforms that I liked in particular was making sure that we have psychological testing for officers each year. That's something that I don't mind tooting the horn of my local folks that some of my local sheriffs really wanted to see, because I think we forget sometimes just how stressful that job is and just how difficult it is to be a law enforcement officer. I mean, you've got to be a special person to get into it in the first place. One of the other things we wanted to do that became controversial, which I don't think has to be controversial, was having students watch videos that help them learn how to interact with law enforcement, how to, just basically learn how to deal with a law enforcement encounter. One of the other things they wanted to do was to try to do something about what they call the gypsy officers. And that's the officer who gets in trouble in one law enforcement agency, and then from that point moves to another, but because he was allowed to resign or something like that, that information isn't passed. Every person I've talked to, chiefs, sheriffs, everybody complains about this particular problem, because what happens is when that bad officer really goes bad, they go bad on somebody else's watch. And so they want to have the ability to have this information and make a decision on their own. Just because you were fired somewhere doesn't mean you're a bad officer, but just because you were allowed to resign doesn't mean you're necessarily a good officer. So I think those issues are really there.